Okay, first, remember when you're looking at this diagram, okay, at this sketch, when they show you the little red arrows in the book, you've got to pay attention to those. That's telling you that this line is parallel to this line. Those two lines are parallel, cut by this transversal, okay? And then they label the angles, okay? From that, you're going to get several postulates and theorems, okay? Look at the first one, corresponding angles. We've already talked about these, okay? But now, I mean, we labeled them in the last section, but now if they are parallel lines cut by a transversal, you're going to have several of those angles are going to be congruent, okay? And that's the difference between just saying they're corresponding angles and saying they're congruent, okay? So, corresponding angles postulate says if two parallel lines cut by a transversal, then each pair of corresponding angles is congruent, okay? So when you look at that, we're going to add to this. We're going to name all those pairs, okay? What's one pair?
8 and 4.
Okay, 8 and 4. Okay, angle 8 is congruent to angle 4 by this postulate. What's another pair? Angle 6 is congruent to angle 2. What's another pair? Somebody else? Yep, angle 1 is congruent to angle 5. They are corresponding angles. One more. 3 and 7. Angle 3 is congruent to angle 7. Okay? Because those two lines are parallel, cut by a transversal, all of those are congruent. Okay? Corresponding angles. Okay? Okay, the next one, theorem 3.1. Alternate interior angles. Okay? And same idea. We named alternate interior angles in the last section, but now if they're parallel lines cut by a transversal, then each pair of alternate interior angles is congruent. Okay, somebody else name a pair of alternate interior angles. 5 and 4. Angle 5 is congruent to angle 4. Okay, and 3 and 6. Angle 3 is congruent to angle 6. Okay, and that should be it. Alternate interior angles are congruent if they are parallel lines cut by a transversal. Okay. Okay, the next one, consecutive interior angles theorem. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of consecutive interior angles is supplementary. Okay, remember consecutive interior angles, they're on the interior and they're on the same side of the transversal. So now, this is saying they're not congruent, they are supplementary. What's that mean? They add up to 180. Okay, so if you look at this picture, one pair of consecutive interiors would be like 4 and 6. So this time, angle 4 plus angle 6, and we really should have, probably should have the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 6 equals 180. They are supplementary. Okay, and the other pair would be 3 and 5. So the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 5 equals 180. Okay, and those are the only two pairs on that for that picture. Okay. Okay, theorem 3.3, alternate exterior angles. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of alternate exterior angles. Okay, so look back up at your picture. Alternate exterior. 2 and 7 would be 1. What's another one? 1 and 8. Okay, so angle 2 is congruent to angle 7. Okay, and angle 1 is congruent to angle 8. Those are alternate exterior angles. And the only reason they're congruent is because you have parallel lines cut by a transversal. Okay? Okay, so now look at the picture in this figure. Remember, this symbol means that they are parallel. And they're not telling you, they're not giving you the little red arrows, but they're telling you that in the directions. So you got to know, hey, this line is parallel to this line cut by a transversal. And this one they're giving you, so on your paper, go ahead and label this angle 11 equals 51 degrees. Okay? Okay, if angle 11 is 51, angle 12, why? Not alternate interior. Vertical, yep. Angle 11. Anytime you have two lines intersect, okay, these would be equal and these would be equal by vertical angles. Okay. Okay, so what else is equal to 51? What other angle? 15. Why? Yep. If you look, you can go different ways. You can go corresponding with 11 and 15, or with 12 and 15, you could go alternate interior. What else is equal? 16 to 15. Why 16 to 15? Vertical angles. Yep. There are several relationships in there. So okay, so we've got all of those. What about angle? We've got. What about 10? Okay, 129, because 10 and 11 form what kind of angles? They're a linear pair, right? Supplementary angles form a linear pair. If 10 is 129, what about 13? Yep. 14 is 129. Whoops, hang on. What's the wrong number? 10 and 13, right? And 14. 13 and 14 are what kind of angles? 13 and 14. Alternate interior, and they're equal. 14 and 17. 129. 10. Oh, how come I didn't? 11 was given, right? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We got them all. Okay? Okay, so it's not too bad once you start going through the picture. Use your definitions of your angles. Everybody okay with those? Okay. Go to the back page. Okay, this one the author is trying to be a little bit tricky on this. Now, you got to pay attention to this. Okay, got to pay attention to those red arrows. Okay, they are parallel lines. They want you to find the measure of RTV. Okay, here's how you do this. RTV, draw a supplemental parallel line. Draw another line in there. Okay. And the author's not going to tell you that. You just have to know to do that. Okay. Now look at this angle and this angle. Equal. So this angle 60, right? Okay. And if this one, you probably should put that this is parallel. Okay. We're forcing it parallel. Now look at this angle and this angle. 65, right? Alternate interior. So now, what's the measure of angle RT? Yep, add them together, 125. So the little trick on this one, you might write a note so you know what we did. We drew a supplemental parallel line. We drew an extra parallel line in there to be able to figure that. And then we did alternate interior angles, and we used that twice. Okay, and then added up. We had to add the 60 and the 65 to get that whole angle there. Okay. Okay. Any questions on that one? Before we go on? Alternate interior, because I looked at, once I drew that, and then I looked at this angle 60, so that means this angle is also 60. And then if this angle is 65, this angle right here is also 65 using alternate interior angles. Okay. And then we had to add the 60 and the 65 together. Okay. Okay. Go down to the next, to the last example. Okay. What's that? They're actually in the labels. So, yeah, angle 5 is 2x minus 10. Angle 6 is 4 times the quantity y minus 25. And angle 7 is x plus 15. They want you to find x and y. What can you find first? And you got to use your, look at how they label this. This line is parallel to this line, and then this line is parallel to this line. If they have more than one set of parallel lines, they're going to use like 2 red arrows or 3 red arrows to another 3 red arrows. Okay? Matt, which one are you saying?
Angle 6 and angle 7 are equal.
Why?
Because they're alternate in exterior.
Right, alternate exterior. So angle 6, okay. So, yep. So we're going to do both. Okay, this one, angle 6 is equal to angle 7. But that's not going to help us there for X and Y. Grace, you had another one first. 5 and 7. Why are 5 and 7 equal? Corresponding angles, okay. So we'd have 2x minus 10 equals x plus 15. You agree with that? Okay, that one we can solve because we've got x's in both of them. So subtract x on both sides. So we'd have x minus 10 equals 15. Do the inverse, add 10 to both sides. So x equals 25. Okay, and then you could come back on yours, Matt. Now that we know what x is, we can substitute that back in here. Okay, and we'd have 4 times y minus 25 equals 25 plus 15. We could distribute that, or we could leave it, because if you add those together, you're going to get 40, right? And divide by 4 on both sides. Y minus 25 equals 10, right? And then add 25 to both sides. And y equals 35. Okay. We set angle 5 equal to angle 7. And that's probably because the other way we end up with an x and a y both. Okay. Now you should be able to check your answer. If I want to know, did I get the right answer? Put 25 back in for on measure. Put the 25 back in here. So 2 times 25 would be 50 minus 10 would be 40. So this angle is 40. Okay, and it should be equal to this one. 25 plus 15 is 40. Yeah, those are equal. Okay, and then if you put 35 back in, 35 minus 25 would be 10. 10 times 4 would be 40. Yeah. Okay, so you know you've got the right answer. Okay. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay, that goes in your notebook for your notes on that section.